Okay. Um, you're welcome. I'm going to have some interview questions based on general questions of data governance, strategy questions as well, policy and compliance, and implementation and operations, data quality and security, some interview questions on metadata and classification, and also integration and collaboration, and the advanced tools as well. So, so I just want to us to it's a simple question which I normally answer on based on general. You have to always have it in your mind to answer this question. What is data governance? What is data governance? It might not just come straight like this. It might be, what do you think? What's the idea of data governance? Okay. Any answer? Nicholas?
I was answering, apologies, but my mic was off. So, data quality, uh, is it
I'm not talking
defining the
about data
standards that
quality.
validates data and monitoring consistency? Is it that one?
The question is, what is data governance? What is the idea of data governance? Um,
What is data governance? Why haven't I got that written down?
Ramsey? Ramsey?
Is it everything you do to ensure data is secure, private, accurate, available, and usable? Yeah, should know that. We did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any other person?
So, data governance is the framework and set of practices that ensures there's proper management of data within an organization. It could include policies, that is how data is collected, stored, and managed. It also includes the quality of the data, how accurate, consistent that data is, which is what Nicholas was saying. It includes data security, how you stop people from infiltrating the system from outside, that's external people or unauthorized access. And then also includes those who actually those who are responsible for managing the data, such as data stewards, custodians, owners, various stakeholders, in fact. And then
Okay.
it's also how the data is managed from the start to the end. That is how it is created and how it is stored, and eventually how it is disposed of, archived and disposed of. So it's just ensuring proper management of an organization's data.
Okay. So, Barrister?
Well, thank you. Just to add to what others have contributed, it also includes in terms of innovation to access data quickly and efficiently, also collaborating with other projects, locate data assets across the organization, prevents data breaches, leaks, and misuse, enhance regulatory compliance, which is very important, then improve cost controls, then also in data governance, one of the aims and objective is to make better decisions. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. please take note of what I've said, because the first question they will throw at you is like, what is the idea? What do you have what idea have you got in data governance? So what do you know about it? So it's trying to tell you, it's not trying to ask you what data governance is. Normally, it refers to the overall management of data availability, usability, integrity. Always keep that definition with you as security printing an organization. That is what it is. And what does it imply? Then you cannot explain the law. Okay. Why is data governance important for organization? Why do you think it's important in organization? So because if there's no relevant, if there's no relevant, there's no need to have it. So why is it so relevant? Why is it so relevant? What is the importance of it? Okay.
It helps improves decision making where organizations are concerned.
Yeah.
Because and then of course with improvement of decision making, it helps to cut down on risks and helps to increase their profitability. Because if the data is well managed, the operational efficiency gets increased, losses become minimal. Generally, it and then of course, whether positive or negative, it will help the organization make a few key decisions.
It's very important. So it ensures compliance with regulations, enhances data quality, reduces risk, and support informed decision making. That is the importance of it. We must get this thing all the time.
Yeah, I need to write
So
down.
just compliance with regulations. Okay, enhances data quality of data. Okay, and reduces risk and support informed decision. That's the essence of people carry initiatives, in data governance. If you don't have all those in mind, it will be difficult to really articulate what it takes for you to have proper data governance, operation or management. So, what are the key principles of data governance? Key principles of data governance. Maria Garati, how is Canada?
Fine. Good morning, sir.
Afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
What, what is it between our time and your time? 6 hours, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12?
Where I am currently is 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Currently. That means you
Mm.
travel during the holiday.
Yeah.
So where are you at the moment?
At Abasa.
Ambassa. It's far from Calgary.
Yeah, the same, not so far, the same environment, the same province, rather.
Okay. Wow. That's very good. So, yeah. So you're welcome from abroad or welcome all the way over the sea when you cross the seas overseas. So what are the key principles of data governance? Principles. Principles is the guideline that you need to follow in governing your data. That's what it means now. So
Not
don't
deep.
forget the definition, don't forget the importance, and don't forget the principle, because you want to carry initiative, those principles are very, very important. So what are the key principles of data governance?
Data must be transparent. Sorry.
Okay.
It must be transparent.
Transparency, yes.
Integrity.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
The data must be accurate.
Absolutely.
For purpose.
Yeah.
It must comply. We talked about compliance before. Comply with the privacy laws of wherever it is being managed from.
Okay.
So we have things like GDPR.
Yeah.
In the UK here, and every data must be protected from unauthorized access. So this is why we have things like the NHS. They only give out certain information. They don't give out the rest of to unauthorized people.
Yeah.
Data must be standardized.
Mm-hmm.
So common formats must go across all data being managed by that particular organization. It could be in terms of their naming, it could be naming conventions, it could be in terms of definition. And it must, so data too must be easily accessible by authorized by those managing the data. So if it could be if it's the human resource department, if it's the training department, or if it's the IT department, it must be accessible to all.
Okay. That is.
I think to add to it is availability. So the data must be available.
Yeah. And it must be accountable.
Yeah.
These are principles. Thank you. Can you explain the scope of data governance in an enterprise? What is the scope if you are employed? What is scope? Data governance, what is the scope? So the scope includes data ownership, data policies. This is the scope, what you're going to look into. Yeah. Okay. Data quality management, in place, data security, metadata management, and compliance. Those really big scope. Don't forget about those ones at all, anytime. Okay. Very important. And, what rules are critical in data governance framework? What rules? What rules are critical? Very, very critical.
You go through the book.
We have what's called rules and responsibilities. So we're talking about what rules are so critical in data governance framework.
Can I respond to that, Pastor?
Yeah, respond.
To ensure data is accurate, complete, consistent.
You're talking about data quality.
Sorry.
These are rules. Rules. What rules are critical in data governance framework? Like
Sorry.
rules of
GDPR or
Sorry?
that is it? It's not GDPR and stuff, and the other one is it? It's not that.
We're talking about rules.
Data security, as in protecting the data.
No, steward.
Responsibilities.
One of the roles critical is data steward.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones who input all into the database. That's one of the critical.
I believe the custodians, data custodians are also there.
Absolutely.
And of course,
data owners,
that's
and
correct.
also the IT team.
Okay, that's correct.
Right.
Yeah. And the governance committees. So you can have some different committees, governance as well. Yeah. Rules. When you talk about rules and response, what is your role? Your role is data governance manager, or your role is IT, or your role is data analyst. Your role is this and that. So what rules are very critical? I'm talking about, there are so many rules, but the rules that are very critical in your framework for governance is data owners, data stewards, data custodians, governance committees, and IT. These are very critical rules. If you're having so many rules, please take these ones are very critical. Is that okay as a data manager? So they are very. So I'm going to ask some strategic questions. And these strategic questions will be, what are the objectives of data governance strategies? The objectives of it.
To ensure data is to ensure data quality, mitigate risk,
Yeah,
also ensure compliance.
that's correct.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Okay. You also need to drive efficiency.
Okay, yes, drive efficiency, you're correct.
Also have to drive efficiency. These are strategies. You know the word strategy. You know what it means.
Yeah, plans.
Yeah. Which plan?
Strategies are
Long-term goal.
long-term goals, yeah.
Long-term plan. Long-term plan. So long-term plan, if we have long-term plan, then we have short-term plan. So what are short-term plan? What is short-term plan?
Tactical.
Tactical, yeah, tactical. Always know that because you are a manager, you use the right nomenclature, you use the right word for the right, description of anything at all. Okay? How do you align data governance with business objectives? Very, very important. Very, very important, please. How do you do that?
How do we align it?
Yeah.
Do you mean measure?
Sorry?
Do you mean measure?
How do you align? Well, it depends on you. Are you answering me or what? So how do you align data governance with business objectives? You know the meaning of aims and objectives?
Yes.
What is the meaning of aim?
The aim is the target set on, and I'm trying to bring. I understand it, but these are this is. We can use things like metrics to measure success of data governance.
You are measuring that, but how do you align?
Okay, by identifying the data priorities.
That's correct.
That support the organizational goals.
That's correct.
And also
such as what?
Ensuring insights, regular meetings, and as standard, yeah.
That's correct. So what you do, you identify data priorities that support the goals of the organization, such as enhancing customer insight, the essence of having, data quality to create value, and that value that you prioritize, the experience of customers will depict whether you have aligned the data governance with the objectives and the goals and objectives of the enterprise. So how do you do that? We have a lot of training, meetings, regulatory standards meeting, so that people will ensure that there is data quality and data integrity. So simple. So it's not limited to the answer given, but if you know anything about data governance and data quality, you definitely will know that the ultimate aim is to create value, which people need to buy into. And that experience insight from the customer will now determine whether you accomplish the expectation of the company's corporate goals and objectives, which is very good, really good. Thank you so much, Louis, for that answer. It's very important. Okay, please don't play with all these questions at all, because I know why I'm doing this all the time. One person recently, I had an interview in BBC, and he didn't know anything about data governance at all. The person went to YouTube and he got our training. So, and he called me. So, and we had an interview together. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, in that section, he discovered that he really didn't even know anything at all. My wife was on it on the case seriously, and it's like we encourage him to go, but from after passing through us with these strong interview questions, the direct one with the one with BBC, not he was shocked. He gave up. He's coming from training. Very top manager in that company, but he's coming for training. Why? Because and it was something else. Okay, very important. Yeah. So we don't joke with this question we're putting together here. Please take note of it. What metrics can you measure the success of data governance? What metrics can you use? What metrics?
We could use a data quality score. Also, we can also indicate them with compliance rates.
Mm.
And also user satisfaction as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also use reduction in data.
Oh yes, I keep forgetting that one. Why? I crammed this in last time. Yes, you're right.
So it's very important that you need to know how data incidents have reduced. These errors were reduced by 30%, by 60%, and increase customer insight, and also helps in the strategic decision making by the enterprise. Those things are very important. Okay. Maria, are we learning something?
What about customers' feedback? Can we use that?
That's correct. Customers' feedback.
Is that not classed as a user satisfaction?
Yeah, user satisfaction. Yeah. Yeah, it's something as that. Yeah. So, you can also you can go further by explaining how do you get the satisfaction from the customer. You carry a survey.
Survey, yeah.
These
Okay.
feedbacks.
Feedbacks. Okay, so you can explain that, because if you face me an interview, you give me that answer, I will dig into how did you do that. It's not about just saying it. So depends on which angle I will always want to.
You can even have secret shoppers in the
we call it mystery. We call it mystery. We call it mystery.
Mystery shoppers, yes. Mystery shoppers.
Yeah.
Who actually watch what people are doing and then get feedbacks from them.
I've had that experience so loads of times. Loads of times, and I keep the voice do sound familiar, but they just act as if they are customers, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And they'll be asking you questions. Oh, what can I get? How can I do this? And I keep responding, and they say thank you, and they go.
Absolutely. Very important. So what is the difference between data governance and data management? Those two are being used interchangeably, but they actually mean different things strategically.
So is governance the laws that regulate how data is stored, and management is how a business if a management is how a business implements those policies?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. But another way I'll define this is data governance focus more on policies and rules, while data management execute the rules. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's spot on.
They bring out different methods to implement it.
Yeah, one focuses on policies, rules, while the other one involves in the execution of the rules.
Yeah.
So that is how it is. So in data governance specifically, you bring out the rules, policies to buttress your governance, and
Data management.
Data management focuses.
So the data management is the actual day-to-day tasks and how you handle the data.
Absolutely. Now, who are the people involved in data management?
You said who are what?
Who are the people involved in data management?
So is the stewards, anyone actually using that data?
Everyone.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So it's good that we all know this. I'm going to repeat this question again. How would you define the scope of data governance and organizations?
The scope.
Yeah. How would you define the scope of data governance? Okay. How would you define the scope of data governance?
I'll say
I've answered this question the other time.
Yeah. I would say it covers policy,
okay,
roles and standards.
That's correct.
Processes related on how data is managed and used.
Absolutely, that is part. So it covers policies and rules, standards, and processes related to how data is managed and used. So those processes include what?
Pastor, you're jogging my memory.
Yeah, I have to because I know.
Serious. I didn't expect this one to come into the class to start facing fire squad.
Very important. We are actually we're supposed to be treating data policy in practice and also data ethics today together. But people are still on holiday, so that's why I kind of one of you here preparing for interview. So I need to really make sure I prepare almost everybody together in one way or the other. So, Dr. Van, you're welcome.
Thank you. Apologies. I just got the message.
No problem. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
The class people are still on holiday, so we decided to just say those who are available, just because of one or two people going for the interview, we just have to prepare some cutting across general question on data governance strategy and implementation as well. So we're just we have a few minutes to close for today. But
okay, Pastor.
Yeah.
I had an incident today, and this one was quite hard, but I had to go and bring out the policy where I dusted it in my system.
Okay.
I had to pause this customer for like 2 minutes and quickly had to go through it. And it was a brand new Mazda, just registered yesterday. It's not even on the DVLA website.
Okay.
Yeah, and this customer, brand new, and the customer is having issues with the vehicle. Now, in order for me to authorize anything for this customer, definitely there must be an existing policy. But this one has not been registered. It's brand new. Now, I was thinking, what do I do? And I remembered one of these training we had, which is an awareness that if we come across such things, we should, that will be on that trust. So it's between yourself and the dealership now. Okay. And the customer does not even have the number, and they are closed. They're still closed right now. So he just got the car yesterday, and they were already closed for the weekend. So there was no way I could reach the dealership to know the. I did it based on. I had to dust out this Mazda policy for Northern Ireland, and I started reading through it, and I now got what's it called? A temporary cover.
Okay.
And now authorized it.
Your company still having a contract with Mazda?
Oh, geez, loads. We cover Mazda, Lamborghini, all of them. We cover.
Wow.
So policies are very important. You need to
very, very important.
So
that was the only way the system will allow me to do anything, and I authorize it.
On that basis, what key policies should be part of data governance framework? What key policy? Very, very important, because, if in any job description, every JD given for data governance job, they will say, develop or create policies such as. So right now, if it says create policies, a data governance manager to one of the JDs to create policy, what does that mean?
Structures, laws, somewhat legal structures.
Let's use this word. What's the difference between create and develop policies?
To create is like to develop is more like improving the policy.
If it is
But like a
improving,
like a greenfield. Is it a greenfield or brownfield? Sorry.
brownfield. That's
brownfield. Yeah, brownfield.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, improving it.
But if
And
to create is what?
to create it more like a greenfield, starting from fresh, and that should be within your 90 days to see what's actually missing and what needs to be done.
No, but it doesn't really matter in which case, whether brown or green, you have to have a roadmap of 30.
Definitely.
So create, just made it clear, because you have to speak like an expert, as you know.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
How would you respond to that question, sir?
It's so simple. You just said it. You say, if you say create, it means this is a green for you. Because definitely the policy is not there. If the brownfield, if they will say to develop, they are trying to tell you that they have policy, but due to the complexity of data they are handling down, they need to meet up with probably migration or scalability. So always know what to say and what to do. The tense, because someone who is interviewing you want to know whether you have idea of what you're saying. And you don't talk too much. You just say, okay. That's why sometimes when they ask a question, or they ask a question, what have you got any question? You need to know, you need to ask them what is the capability of the program they have. If it is a brownfield already, they're going to tell you they have it, they have that. Probably they're going to ask you, the key keywords that they have. Okay, but then that means you're going to be creating, you're going to be developing. But if they tell you that, oh, they have something here, but it's not enough, this and that, they are trying to tell you that it's a brownfield, but it's actually a greenfield. On arrival, you carry out your initiative after having an access, and then you assess the current position of the data governance program they have. You know that when you have different components of data governance, you have to look at does the policies meet the business goals and objectives? If not, why? And what is the currency? Ad hoc or initial or establishing, or kind of really, being five being the optimization. So you're supposed to have the current situation by your criteria. So then you now set target within 1 year, 2 to 3 years, and see the differential, and you plot the graph, and then look at how, when, and what to be done, the kind of investment that need to come in each of the prioritized area of your program to meet up a target in order to reduce error to the barest minimum, to allow customer have a very good insight, and also help the corporate company to have an informed strategic decision making. So the second assignment, strong second assignment, will let you know that, which of course some of you have already done before. So that is very important. Then you plot the graph, look at the time you're going to allocate to it, and also look at who will be data owner and stewards that will handle such data quality issues within a time frame. Depends on the rating of the data quality, which is critical, high, medium, low. So, and don't forget, investment is important on that basis. So on this, what key policies should be part of a data governance framework? Key policies. Now we have different policies, but what are the key policies? Okay. What are the key policies that you think will be in the framework? This right now, dealing with policies and compliance.
It's not GDPR, is it?
GDPR,
Mm,
yeah,
no,
key policies.
no.
Come on, key policies. Maria Garrity. Ife.
Okay, I thought you were calling Maria Gorote.
Okay.
Policy,
Can I, Madam,
privacy.
after you.
Okay. The data must be secured. So that's one of the policies, protecting data from unauthorized use. That's the data security policy.
Yeah.
The data must be accurate, consistent, and complete.
That's the data quality in terms of
That's data quality, yeah.
Yeah.
data
And
quality.
also it has to be also timely as well.
Has to be what?
Timely.
Timely.
And it must be accessible by all, easily accessible by all. That's within the organization, not those outside within the organization. And then there must also be a policy for how long that data can be retained within the organization, how long it can be retained, when it can be archived.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all these can also be achieved by establishing and enforcing data governance standards as well.
Of course, we know that, but the thing is that there are so many policies, many policies, but the question is that key policies. So that the definition of key policy will depend on individual anyway, relatively, because where you work
must
and
also
what
be
area work might be this thing. Yeah. So what you tend to be key at that point might not be the same as others. But in most cases, when you answer this question, you say, well, depends on the operation of the enterprise. But however, the key quality is that really normally from experience from the previous and present right now that you normally put in place is a data privacy policy, data access, which of course that's what if it said that talk about security, access, as you're talking about security, either authorized or unauthorized policies, then data retention policy and data usage policy. Usage is very important, retention.
I was going to say usage is very important because now there's a lot of organizations that always have the caveats on the bottom of their emails to say that
I'm very tiny.
Yeah, cannot be shared with external people with external parties.
Okay, Pastor, my break is up now. I need to go back.
No problem. I know you're there, but you can just mute yourself anyway. Yeah. Well,
so very strong on sharing with external people, so that sometimes when you try to send any information outside the organization, it bounces back.
Absolutely. About 4 months ago, I signed off a updated policy where I'm head of data in terms of retention. So where it has to be in line with what the government actually say as well, but depends on the capacity of your enterprise to retain, and also depends on legislation that's within the jurisdiction of operation as well. So yeah, I think Barrister can help us on this. Yeah, because some companies are allowed to hold for 6 or for 12 or for limited amounts of time, and they can archive it as well. But there's no point of retaining data that are not useful and that cannot even be enriched for the usefulness of why we should first of all keep it. So, and I waited for them to make sure what we have discussed in terms of the policy has to be written before I sign off, before I stepped out. Very important to note this. Retention and usage is very important. The policy with respect to usage, when you're collecting someone's data, you must tell the person why you collect the data and what you're going to use it for, and how you're going to use it, and how long it's going to be. Those are principles guiding the data collection and also usage as well. Those are key policies. Key policies. In most cases, but it still depends on you, on what you are handling as well. Okay. Right. So, what is the role of data governance in mitigating risk? And this is easy for everyone. Okay.
What is the role of
What is
data?
the role of data governance in mitigating risk? What's the role of data governance in mitigating risk? You know, Facebook was fined
Yeah.
for $2.8 billion.
Yeah, that's correct.
But
With data governance, it establishes who the owner is, and it makes sure it's compliant. That data is compliant with whatever
That's correct.
the government requires, thereby reducing risks of any penalties or damage to that particular organization. And then it makes sure that the data is properly stored, accessed, and securely shared, minimizing the risks of data breach, which is what you're saying about Facebook.
Yeah.
Where there's a breach and then the company gets fined because of that breach. And then, of course, we said it does improve decision making earlier on. Because if the data is reliable and is trustworthy, then better decisions are made, thereby reducing risks of any inefficiencies and any financial loss, because a lot of organizations lose money that way, either through people suing them or like Facebook, or because they don't know what is going on ground. They tend to lose money because there's too many duplications in the system. So, for example, an organization paying salaries to people who are no longer there because someone has not bothered taking off those names from the system, or paying the same person twice because there's an initial missing in the person's name. So this one, all this better data governance management helps to mitigate those kind of risks.
Okay. Thank you so much for the answer. Ramsey, are you there, Ramsey?
And in addition, we'll see what has happened in a country like Nigeria, where elections took place and there was no proper data management. So at the end of the day, we don't even know what actually obtained on ground, because no one could actually be held accountable for the data.
Yeah, but that's why it's one of the principles we must make is about accountability. So if there's no accountability in data governance management, that means there's a problem.
Because there's no transparency.
Yeah, there's no transparency. So it's one of the key, principle that prioritize our management of data. So what is the role of data governance in mitigating risk? That's what you just said. The answer is not limited to what I'm putting there, because the FAU explained more of it already. Depends on individual relatively. as it applies to where you work, or you want to give us an example. It helps identify vulnerabilities anyway. So you prevent data breaches, which is the one you talk about the other time with respect to Facebook as well, and ensure regulatory compliance. Very, very important. Okay. Yeah. So there is one probably last question. I may put here. Is Ramsey? Ramsey, are you okay?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Yeah, so I know. So take hot water or whatever. So yeah, Maria Dorothy,
Yes, I'm here.
is it very cold in Canada?
Yeah, it's very good.
I thought it's warm.
No, it's very good.
So what do we have on the question on the chat box as a question? If you can read it for us.
Okay, how do we handle conflicts between data governance policies and operational needs?
Yeah.
Mm.
Dr. Maria Garati,
Yes, sir.
you want to answer it?
I think regular or maybe regular meetings.
Want to phone a
What do
friend?
you say?
Want to phone a friend?
No. I think when there is conflict between the policies and needs, I think it has there should be, first of all, there should be training to avoid such conflicts, and as a way of following up, I think there should be regular meetings and check-up, like to find out if everybody is being compliant with the policies stated on that.
Doctor, you are used to management tactics. That's why you're answering that way. Yeah.
I'm gonna
have you lecture management before? Anyway.
Yeah, I think I thought a part of a course that had little of record management.
Where we invest?
In University of Benin.
Okay.
Mm.
Nicholas, you want to speak?
I'm gonna have a pop at it, but I might be wrong. Would you like to see what kind of data management they've got in place, and then see if there's any conflicts between two areas of where data storage is, like, so two pieces of data shouldn't be in the same place. Maybe two areas of the business are sharing responsibilities. Again, that's just a try, but
well, if you look at it, the answer to the question is in the question. That's why Dr. Maria Garrett trying to be more tactical from there.
okay.
You're talking about conflicts between data governance policies. So that is a policy put in place, whether created or developed, and operational needs. So you must understand operational needs.
Yeah.
So we have business goals and objectives, but in the operation of it strategically. So when there is conflict, how do you handle it?
Check the structure of their operations and then see what needs to be regulated or put in its right place.
You need to, that's after identifying the root cause. So what would you do?
Will obviously find the root cause and then make a plan. Obviously, get rid of the root cause, whatever that might be, and then make a plan forward from there. What
kind of plan is that?
Strategy.
Yeah, strategy plan. So which may involve what?
It would involve
You can phone a
seeing
friend,
where,
Nicholas. You can phone
seeing where data is stored, how it's stored, who owns it.
You're talking about policies now and operation needs.
Operation.
So
Make
what
sure
would
that
you do?
two pieces of data aren't stored in two different places.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just say that because we have policies, your policies, you as a data governance manager, you have to come up with a program, and that program we have policies, we have procedures, we have standards, we have criteria to which they can be measured. You have to socialize them. In fact, after having a privacy and security, or you have to socialize them, or also, having a KPI that you use in measuring your standard, whether it meet up with expectation of the corporate goals and objectives. So right now in your business operation, how, if there's a conflict between your program and business policy, business operational needs, to resolve is what Dr. Maria Gavetti said the other time. And that's the root cause of it identified. Then what we'll go next is to make sure people understand what has been the root cause, and then the strategy you comes out with need to be made known to all stakeholders,
Right. Yes. Yes.
whether
Yes.
those who are in charge of operational needs and
I wrote that
also
down.
those who are in charge data governance policies. So they must have a meeting, lectures, workshop, trying to drive the compliance that need to exist in terms of the business and your program in agility form, because it needs to move in a fast rate so that there will not be conflicts. When there's no conflicts, there's going to be value created. Okay, so this question, it comes in all interviews. It can come in a different form. What challenges have you ever met during your program or your initiative? So you could say, this is the conflict, this is conflicts, and one of it is that to identify data owner or stewards. Hello, if your hands up.
Yeah, I would say that one of the challenges I encountered in implementing an initiative is people never like change. No one likes change, so everybody's always being careful when it comes to change. Nobody wants to accept it or adopt it. So
Right.
it's best for you as a data governance manager to communicate that change, making it simple for everyone to understand, and making sure that you tell them first and foremost that it's in no way going to affect anyone's job, because that's always the fear that when you implement things like this, jobs are going to go, because this is a job that probably 10 different arms of the business we're managing. So IT was managing theirs, training department was managing theirs, human resources was managing their own database. Then all of a sudden, you say we have just one big database for everyone to access and use. Of course, that's going to mean 3 or 4 people are going to lose their jobs. So you have this breach that you need to now try and close and tell them that no, it does not mean anyone is going to lose. So communicating and training people is very key.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That's a major challenge.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Barrister.
Thank you very much. Just to add to what other contributors have said, one of the ways in which some organizations ask this question is, when you're faced with a dilemma, challenges, dilemma, difficulties, also sometimes they'll say, oh, have you had any issues or problems before with any manager or colleagues? How did you handle it? So adding to what my other contributors have said, I would also like to add apart from education or educating CPD and the rest, evaluation and reviews are also very, very important. It's very important that we add, in fact, when, like Maria Goroti said, at the end of the day, it's very important that you call for a meeting, when you're having conflicts. That is, people say that a problem shared is half solved. I said it's 85% resolved. because if there's no dialogue, if you don't speak about something, you won't be able to discuss and come to an amicable or positive outcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barrister Emmanuel. So it's actually really, you guys are always spot on. Some of the answer I give here, they're not limited to mine. I just want to normally give just a answer so that you can build on it from experience. You guys speaking from experience because you handle data in a big company. And that being said, it's very important that we need to understand that when there is conflict, the answer to it, the question, I mean, the interviewer is expected that you should talk about communication, collaboration. And how do you do if you go for interview, they give you second interview. First interview is quite different. Second interview, they're going to tell you that second interview may involve how do you handle, how do you collaborate with stakeholders. They are telling you, and the answer to that come with create a problem or a problem you have already seen before and have an answer to them. Okay, especially when you have an initiative to carry out. Maybe when you're carrying out an initiative, as Faye has said the other time, they're going to be asking, what is it in it for me? So very difficult for them to buy into your program. So what do? Have a meeting. Educate them. Have a workshop. And in doing that, tell them both the trainer and the trainee they are learning. So allow them to be glorious participants of what your program is, not just spectator of the same alone. So let them be people also participating in terms of contribution. And don't discard their contribution. Always say, oh, that's very good, fantastic. You do that all the time. And what do you think if we go on so higher? You're already making them to look beyond what they are saying. Very important, because you know better. So don't tell them that you know better. I agree to what they are saying and improve them by speaking. So why don't we look at this way as well? So they see more light and they buy into it. And make them part of the data owner, because most of them don't buy into what you're bringing in, because they say, what is it in it for me? And also, if the situation comes that it has to be I love that using positive words, a fantastic, excellent, etc. is very key. Absolutely. The situation has to be like the person has to be the chief executive. And this is the person who you need to approve your decision making. And you need to have a domain to which you take decision as well for budgeting or any further investment. Then you make him to be part of the discussion or make him to join one of the committee in data governance management. So that he can see the picture right from the day one. Very important. Okay. It's neither here nor there, but the important is have a key management tools to know how to manage conflicts, to know how to manage challenges. That in this case is not excluding the one we have data governance management system. Okay. Any question today? Because I got to close now. So don't forget that we're supposed to teach, if everyone is in today, we're supposed to teach data governance in practice and also ethics and responsibility. So, Barrister?
Thank you very much. This is just by way of just juggling our brain for today, where one had tried and tried and tried to resolve issues with colleagues and manager. And I know Ife had actually given an example some time ago, but I probably just want people to contribute to this as just by probably summarizing today's section. You've tried and tried and tried, and at the end of the day, there's no progress. What do you do in a situation like that? Because one is in a dilemma, you're in a difficult situation, big challenge. How do you think a matter like this can be resolved? Thank you.
Okay. Do we have anyone here who can try to answer the question?
Sorry, you
First
have
of all,
tried what? Is it the conflict? Is it you are trying to
yes,
resolve it?
yes.
Okay, like there is a conflict, you have tried and tried. What is
Absolutely, yes.
as a data governance? Okay. I think it's a fallback to I think in every organization there is a hierarchy, and as a position of the data governance, I don't think you are the toppest or the highest in hierarchy. So I think one of the points is to fall back to the superior, the person ahead of you. And again, on your own part, you can still try to like research round to find out how, if such issues has existed before, how it was resolved in any other organization, and try to see how it can be applied to your organization to see how it can be resolved. Then again, nobody knows it all. You can have a routine meeting probably with your teams, with your team members, like kind of like throwing the question up to get the view of others. You wouldn't know. One member of the team might just have a solution to whatever you have been trying to handle. That's what I think. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Another way of, just to add, probably for the next person that's going to speak, before Pastor speaks, another very good way of, when you answer the question so well, you could, especially when you are in an interview, you could actually relate it to you. This is how you actually handled a situation like this. You could put it that, oh, when I was working in a social place, this is what I did. When I was working with the NHS, I had situations like this. We did everything possible, but this person, the staff or the manager, probably didn't stay with us. But at the end of the day, we had to look back to how, just using your example, how matters like this was resolved by other colleagues that face problems like this or issues like this. And at the end of the day, we're able to resolve it. And in fact, I got a promotion from management because of the way I handled this matter. Thank you. Pastor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much. Right. I know if I continue to say people should answer now, we will not leave yet today.
Probably a good way of, if any other person has anything to say on that, might be helpful. So that we just hear, because we're all learning. We're all learning from one another's experiences. Thank you.
Okay. So, as Barrister Emmanuel said, do we have anyone who also going to contribute to the answer given by Dr. Maria Garati and Barrister who contributed?
And I know if he has a very good example that led to a very large increase of salary. So probably before any other person speaks, if we might want to.
Well, maybe when we have a very full class, you can ask the question again. A lot of people will. But engineer Bob Manuel at the moment is in offshore. He sent a message to me that he's handling there's a big work in offshore at the moment. I think with Halliburton. So really, yeah. So
That's good. We wish him all the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, the reason why this question is very important, there is no interview you go to. In fact, some interviews, this is the only question they will ask you over a cup of coffee or tea. That's the only question they will ask you. And they want to see how you because if you're able to answer this question, you can deal with any situation and you'll be able to answer.
That's a very big, in fact, it's all embraced in terms of data governance and data governance management. So it's all embracing. So the question is simply that if you have tried to make sure the conflict is resolved and it's not, what do you do next? That's the basic question anyway. I think on the chat box, we're supposed to put the question there. So, what would you do? Ramsin, are you still there?
So I didn't get the question earlier, but from what you're saying, I think if you're trying to resolve a conflict in an organization you've worked in before, and you feel you cannot resolve it, you've tried everything, what you need to do is to escalate it further. So you can involve someone in the senior management, and especially when it's involving something that involves the operational goals against the governance requirements. And then the senior leadership can decide that they want to make decisions based on the business needs or objectives, and that everybody should take that on. Or you can also perform a risk assessment to check to identify if there is any risks of non-compliance with what you are suggesting and what is actually obtaining, or what is actually obtained. And then based on the evidence or the analysis you get, it will help you to make a better informed decision and what the consequences will be if that's a particular thing is not implemented, or if that particular conflict is not resolved. Because like what Barrister said, there are some conflicts that you just cannot resolve on your own. So escalating it further, sometimes you might even go back to going back to the drawing board. And like you said, not every question is, not everyone's contribution, all contributions are relevant, put it that way, because sometimes you never expect the least important, I would say the least, apologies, the least important person sometimes are the ones who have the most taxing question that sometimes you can't even answer. So it could be that you can even tell the parties, okay, let's take that away. Let's go back to the drawing board and see if we can come up with a better solution than what we're preferring here right now, if there's so much conflict going on. Or you could tell them, right, let everyone take that away. I will get the senior management involved. I will organize a workshop or a training. I'll organize a workshop and everybody will come back again. We'll all gather again together and we'll get some answers. So this is where you have what do you call that? And where all ideas, brainstorm. We could have a brainstorming session. So the brainstorm will bring out all sorts of ideas, all sorts of answers and all that. And then you could have some sort of board. Can't remember what you call this board now, where all the answers are put down round the room on a, can't remember what it's called now. You have just small boards, small, where you have like postcards. So like a Kaban kind of board where all the answers are put down, and then we can go around the room. And
scorecard. Come on. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So then when we've gone round the room, we can now start taking out those things that are least important and then leave the most important ones. And then senior management could take it away and say, right, whatever policy is being implemented or whatever is being done, it's not right. We need to go back again. So there are different ways of trying to resolve conflict when you yourself cannot handle that conflict. So, but it's important that you escalate as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Ife. Thank you. You just supported what Dr. Maria Dorothy has said, which is very good. The bottom line is that the answer has been provided. The only thing we need to always know, the essence of all these things is to create value. So if you prioritize that, the value need to be created. If something that all of us have to make sure it is a high priority, then that conflict has to be resolved. It will be resolved. Especially when you now tie in your program to business goal and objectives. So if the chief executive said that this business goal has to be met, so every operation has to get towards the goal. So if now, in most cases, because this is also part of one thing I want to say now is part of the interview that normally come, where will you place this data governance program? Where will you place it? People made mistake by saying the IT department. Never, never, please, never, ever say it's the IT department. It's in business. So the business, you enshrine your program into the business goal. So in the operation of the business, we are to create value. And if we all believe that that is the needs for it, then automatically their conflict is resolved. Come from the angle of the value creation that the data governance program was to do, that is tied into the business goals and objectives. On that basis, there's no operation, there's no business goal. So operation is from A to Z. Okay? In any operation, there is always inbound and outbound, input and output. So in most cases, all inputs are a lot, but I can classify them into three: PMM, which is people, material, and what? People, material, and money. So money being investment. Also, people becomes the capital, the capital resources, the human capital that which encompasses creating value in terms of skill, knowledge, having the same attitude and ethical belief of the enterprise himself. So, okay. And then when you meet this human capacity with the investment in terms of capital money and also the material, right from the day one to create an outbound, which is the value, then in between the input and output is operation. So the needs for that operation must meet up together transitionally to make sure the value is created. So if we come from area of value, whoever that's having conflicts need to drop the conflicts, or the conflict would need to be subjected to the obedience of the corporate goals. That is how it is. So, like what Dr. Maria Garasi tried to replace, okay, you can also, because we don't know it all, you can also get some, what people have done somewhere before. She's trying to bring descriptive analysis or analytics from what people have done before to make sure that that they have been so successful. That's the best practice. Okay, that's the best practice. Part of that best practice, by also updating your own self with such, secondary data or data that has here issue were resolved before. So bringing it into your own corporation, make sure you apply it. It could be also model, or theories that somebody have propounded before. Yeah, you are bringing that in order to resolve issues because they have been tested before and they have produced a result that is superior to others. Then it's a very good practice. But then above all is value creation. There must be education among these stakeholders and let them know that the essence of having these conflicts is to make sure we also make sure it's also to have value created. And in that, there are criteria to which we have to pass. And if you keep on capitalizing on the value creation, you discover that everybody will look to it right away. All right. It does not, the answer to it is not limited to my answer. But I think we have learned something today. I don't know. Before we go, we have Dr. Van here. Dr. Van, do you have anything to say before we go? Your voice.
Thank you so much. I'm really privileged. I'm very new here. This is my first time, and I missed the link. The link was sent to me earlier, but I didn't check my messages. So hopefully from next time I will be participating fully. Yeah. So I'm Vania Vanduhe here in London. Yeah, and yeah, I'm new into this field. So yeah, it's glad to.
Did we learn anything today?
Yeah. It's really mind blowing. Yeah, it is okay.
This is more of the answer questions, but the foundation right from the one will be will be unveiled when during the cohort.
All right, sir.
Thank you so much for coming.
Cheers.
I love everyone. Ramsey, keep fit. Ramsey, keep fit. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because we don't want to be missing you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Maria Garatit, thank you for coming. Nicholas,
Thank you.
for coming. Noble, I know you're very busy.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Lewis, I know you are at work. Barrister, thank you for taking your time. Your time is always very precious. AFA, thank you for your time as well. And Sylvester, thank you for your time, Sylvester. And so I'll see you next time and have a wonderful time.
See you next week, definitely.
Thank you. See you next week.
Take care.
Okay, no problem. We do that.
Take care.
All right, have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
But Nicholas, thank you for earlier training when you came in. I hope
Of course.
you
Of
learned
course.
something today.
I'm going to try and get to church tomorrow as well. I'm going to try.
Okay, no problem. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah.